Why do you love Dad?
I love Dad because he's always been there for me.
I love Rick because lots of reasons. I'm gonna cry right off the bat.
Why I love you, Rick.
I love your dad because he is a good example to me of what a father should be. That's why.
Reasons why I love my big brother Rick.
Okay, a couple of things that I love about Rick.
Wishing you a happy birthday. I hope everything goes well on your great day.
Hi, Rick. Happy birthday. Love you. Lots of reasons. I'm gonna keep it together. One, because you've always been unselfish with me and letting me live with you repeatedly, and not always when it was convenient.
I just wanted to say that it's been awesome to be able to work with you for so long, through Sage Grouse and through Masters and then at work as well here at Reclamation. So I appreciate all that you've done for me and how much you look out for me and give me opportunities. It just shows your kindness and caring and loving, and I appreciate all that about you. So anyway, wishing you a great happy birthday. Love you. Bye. Hey bro.
Rick, I love you, and I have always admired your dedication to anything that you set your mind to. I am super proud of the life that you've made for yourself. I knew I was gonna cry. Love your family. Love the family dynamic that you and Renee have created, and it's been really fun to see you guys grow and learn together as a family, but especially with you as the head of that family. I love that you stick with it. I have a particularly inspiring memory of when I was frustrated with school and thinking that it was pointless and I wasn't learning the things that I thought were important. And I called you, the guy who has stuck it out through a lot of school. And you said, sometimes it's not about what you're learning, and sometimes it's not about the end result. Sometimes it's just about getting it done. Just get the job done. And that really did inspire me to stick with it. And by dang, I got that job done. So I love you. I appreciate you. You inspire me, and you're awesome.
I am actually happy and honored to talk a little bit about Rick Baxter. So I've known him for a long time, but particularly in the last 6 or 7 months, I've gotten to know him very well as we serve together in our callings, and I've been very impressed by his dedication to the Lord and by his inspiration. One thing that I've noticed that has influenced me is that he's very inspired and that he seeks revelation and he gets it a lot, and sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, wow, that was an awesome, great idea, that was awesome. And so I've been influenced by Rick and his righteous pursuits and showing me how to be a good leader in the Lord and through getting inspiration and revelation. I also like him generally just because we have a lot in common. I like to talk to him, and I think we have good conversations. The other thing that's nice about us is we get to have lots of interesting discussions, and sometimes we disagree, but we always do it fun and nice, and it goes really well. So anyway, happy birthday, Rick, and I love you. I think you're awesome. Have a great birthday.
And no matter what you say or do, I know it comes from belief and resolve and truth. And there's a lot of other things, but because of those two things and some others, you've always been a really good example to me and a really good friend. And I feel like a good big brother. And when Mom and Dad weren't there because I'm living far away from home, you were the parent that I had available to me. Anyway, so love you, and love all those things about you and lots more. And happy birthday.
It all started back in the day when I was in junior high and a couple of kids were coming to stuff me in the towel chute, and one of them recognized me as Rick's little brother. No, it's Rick Baxter's little brother. Don't mess with him. And they took off. And that's when I realized whether or not you were looking out for me on purpose or not, I had a good thing going.
I love Dad because he doesn't care about himself. He cares about others.
He is determined, and he is friendly to others, and he is a guy who wants to help others where he can.
I love running with Rick on Monday mornings. I love our conversations that we have. We always talk about the gospel and how it affects our lives. And I know that Rick loves his mission. He talks about it all the time. He encourages me to talk about my mission to him. And it's great. It's a great opportunity to remember the spirit that we felt when we served our Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm thankful for that opportunity. And I also think it's pretty cool that Rick knows so much about bees, and I can't wait to see him in his bee get-up. But happy birthday. Thanks for letting me talk about you. Happy birthday.
Just the fact that you take time to check in and connect with me and make sure I'm doing well and that you're genuine about it. That's really important to me, and I appreciate it so much. I also feel like just because we kind of grew up in the same era together, in the same time zone together, that we've always had a lot in common and some common interests and some common drive, and that connects me and bonds me to you. And but I love that you have always stood for what you believed in, and that you've been strong in that, and that you've set a good example for the rest of your family, your siblings, your children, and your community. And you've remained involved, I think, on all of those levels, especially family, community, church, and whatnot. And I think that speaks volumes as somebody whose actions speak louder than their words. And I think that people know and understand who you are based on your work and your actions. And because of that, I really appreciate and love you. Happy birthday.
So I'm supposed to tell you what I appreciate or love about Rick, and I'll tell you that what comes to mind is his care for others, and that he is able to maintain relationships like with former missionary companions or people in Chile, and the things he does to maintain relationships like that with friends and family. I appreciate very much. Thinking back to my own mission, a letter he sent to me talking about the example I was to him, and that was incredibly meaningful to me because of where I was at and what I had done, and felt like he has been an example to me. So, love you, brother, and appreciate you. Hope you have a very great birthday.
He was probably my best friend in high school, and it was really hard for me to let go of him and give him to Renee. He's always been there for me, including today when I wasn't feeling so good. And he comes to me and he says, "Hey, I need to talk to you about how you're feeling," whether I want to or not. I love him. He's such a good example. His family is an incredible example to me. How I want my family to be. I don't know. He's just awesome.
Your dad is awesome. I guess he works harder than pretty much anybody I've ever worked with in the church. Very dedicated to the members of the ward. Tolerates me and my not quite so tactfulness, which is nice. I don't know what else to say. Just a great guy, good friend, one of the truly inspirational people I know. Awesome guy.
Most importantly, I love him for his greatest work in this world, which was bringing 4 of my favorite people into it. Well, Renee did that, but he helped, I guess. Happy birthday, Rick. I hope it is fantastic, and I love you.
Well, happy birthday to one of my favorite sons. I hope you have a great birthday. And you should know that there are some things that I really treasure in memories of things that we've done together or had together. And like, for instance, I'm not sure I should use the word treasure, but when you first went out on your mission and I didn't hear from you week after week after week, and I nearly had heart failure, and finally, when I heard your voice as I walked by your picture in the church, and you said, "I'm okay, Mom." And that was the biggest blessing that Heavenly Father could give me, was to hear your voice telling me you were okay. That wasn't the end of the story, but you know the end of the story anyway. Also, you should know how much I have appreciated over the years your really wanting to know how I am. How was my day? How am I feeling? What am I thinking? Our little conversations that we've always had about conference. Love it. Our time that when you got home from your mission and we were talking about how much you missed Chile, and you cried and we cried, and I knew that you had done the very thing that your dad had counseled you to do when you left on your mission, and that was to love the people. And certainly that has been true, and it has been a blessing to you and them and us. And I love you more than you know. Happy birthday.
He's really a good kid when he was growing up, all the way from little tiny, all the way up. Oh, except for once when he didn't use that good a judgment, and he was riding a bike and he broke his leg. Overall, I think he was pretty smart. Oh, except for he had a basketball coach. And as long as you don't show this to anybody else, his name was, what was his name? Moldash. Oh, except for one other that I think of was one time when he talked back to his dad. I think he discovered that actually wasn't just not too good a judgment, that was really poor judgment, but that didn't happen very often. So, but actually, Rick Baxter was a really good kid. He probably remembers himself worse than he actually was. He was always willing to do what he was supposed to do, and he was pretty faithful and obedient, and of all of our kids, he was probably the one or at the top of the list of those that we didn't worry about, because we could trust him and knew that he knew what was right and he was going to choose that. So I think that kind of sums up what I would say to talk about your dad, Rick Baxter. Rick Joseph Baxter.
I love that he's so caring about other people. He's always thinking about others before himself. He's super outgoing. He likes to get things done. And I think that's a really awesome feature to have. Dad's important to me because he teaches me all the life lessons I should learn, and how to act and how to, what type of person I should become. just like you said, I should always become like you. You're my role model. You're who I look up to. I love you. Happy birthday, Dad.
There was a time I choked on an apple when I was 6, and he gave me a blessing. He's always been there when I needed help, or I have whenever we go to bed, me and Julie, he always gives us a hug, and he always gives us candy. And I love you, Dad. Happy birthday.
You always focus on other people, and you always help and try to help other people. And I love you, Dad, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rick. And I'm supposed to tell you the reasons why I love you. And the first reason that comes to my mind is the fact that I don't ever have to worry about what you're thinking or what you're saying, if it's true. You're an honest man, and I love that about you. You have a heart of gold, and you're full of integrity. And that's something that's important to me in my marriage, because I know you put the Lord first, and if you put the Lord first in your life, that means everything else in our marriage will be happy. And I love that about you, that you're honest, and I don't have to worry about what you're thinking. You just say it, and it's going to be in line with the gospel. Another reason that I love you, not just today, but every day since we've been married for almost 20 years, is that you make me feel good. You never make me feel less than I am or could be. You make me feel beautiful. You compliment me, and I love that about you. I know that if I'm having a bad day, or if I'm not feeling good or pretty or whatever, you compliment me more than I could ever deserve, and I love that about you. You're a good husband. You're a good father. You're the best husband and best father. You put us first in your life, and I appreciate that and love that about you. So, happy birthday. You're the best.
There you have it, Dad. I hope you know how much you're loved, and how much your friends and family love you and adore you, and how much your kids are striving to be like you. You mean the world to us. You're the best dad ever, and I hope you have had the best birthday. Love you.